Welcome.
Here's a Whitman
Okay, that was
for you, Sam.
So quick. Welcome to Prima Volta. It's a sampler.
Yeah.
Orange cream.
I was just so excited to give it to you
Wow.
because we're here with another episode of Sopranos Prima Volta, and I just couldn't wait to give you a gift for having me here. Again, I can't believe you keep inviting me to Sam Triali's.
Well, I'm glad that you're here in Sam Triali's. And I mean, you know, well, yes, I guess I am inviting you. Realistically, without you, there is no Prima Volta, right? It's not my Prima Volta.
No, you're right.
It's Ian Fidance's Prima Volta.
It's
So
my Prima Volta.
the fact that you'll bless me with your presence in Sam Triali's is your gift to me. But
Also,
wow, actually,
thank you for the gift.
I was going to give you
For me giving
one of
What?
these.
Oh my
Yeah,
God!
yeah,
you got
'cause
me
you've
a
been
Whitman.
such a good friend.
Sam,
I appreciate
you
that.
have that.
Yeah.
Thank you so
You
much.
got it. It's a sampler. I went with
can't
this sampler.
believe it.
Yeah.
I'm always weary about just getting one flavor. And
No,
the
no,
fact
no.
that you got me a sampler,
Yeah.
is that is a peanut cluster.
There is a peanut cluster in there. You help yourself to it. I figure it's the perfect gift for anybody, whether they're in a coma or not. Are you getting teary-eyed?
This is really nice.
I was just a housewarming kind of.
For someone in the mafia to care about me means so much. For someone that you and I have pricked blood and burned cards.
I'm not in the mafia.
What?
No, I've never done any of that. We're just talking about the show.
So we're really not going to commit
No.
crimes?
No.
What the fuck are we doing this for?
Whitman's.
Oh, that's right.
Welcome to Prima Volta. Here, it's Ian Fidance's first time watching The Sopranos, and clearly it's influencing your life in a massive,
Oh, yeah.
massive way. I mean,
Yeah.
you're kind of, I feel like shaping your comedy career and personal life around being Tony.
In a way, yes. But this show is affecting my life so much that I am having continual conversations about The Sopranos, which I love, but I'm now getting them confused with what we've talked about on the show, what we've talked about off air, what I've talked about with other people, and what dreams I've had involving the show, where Tony held my hand the other night while I got a tattoo on my hand from someone who I can't stand and I would call my only enemy on this earth.
Artie Bucco?
No, I would much rather hang with Artie Bucco than this flunky fucking
Whoa.
loser.
Do I know him?
No, he's a shitty ass comic.
I wish I did know him now. You hate him more than you hate Artie Bucco?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I'd rather invest money in Artie's Armagnac than ever hang out with this douche.
Do you get pissed when somebody that you don't like that much is in your dreams? Because then it's like, clearly I'm thinking about this person too much.
Yeah, I don't know where this came from, but he was in my dream like 2 nights in a row, and it like really weirded me out. But then the second night, Tony was in the dream, and I got a tattoo on my hand because I was thinking about getting a tattoo on my hand.
You should.
like a rose right here, a little rose, and I'm like, Tony's got tattoos on his hands.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
Tony Soprano?
Yes,
Where?
he has a little tattoo right on his index finger, right here.
Is it like
You've never seen that, bro?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Is it like a
Yep.
mafia thing, or is it a James Gandolfini thing?
I think it's a James Gandolfini thing.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's really cool, really neat. And, I've been eating so much gabagool
yeah.
and so much meat and cheeses at night that I have hypertension.
That's awesome, dude. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I have high cholesterol.
That's
It's really
great.
neat.
Yeah, do you ever go home and like it's 2:00 in the morning after you've done a whole bunch of sets and go like, now is the time to carbo load. Let's
Yeah.
get the pasta out
Yeah.
from earlier in the afternoon. Yeah.
Charcuterie, let's do it.
It's
Boom.
smart.
It is. It is.
Who wants to go to bed on an empty stomach?
No,
And to waste food is a sin.
it is a sin.
Murder's not.
No.
Wasting food.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're not.
Yeah.
I'm glad you are murdering. I'm glad you're not.
I'm murdering on stage and murdering my cholesterol at home.
And
But I will not commit murder
What about,
unless it's for you.
will you murder that guy that was in your dream?
In my dream, yes. If I could Freddy Krueger him, I would.
Okay,
I
now,
almost-
wait, because you got to keep in mind that Freddy Krueger, that would also be murdering him in real life. When Freddy Krueger murders you in your dream, you die for real.
Yeah, but he only lives in the dream because he murders and he escapes of the dream. So he's bulletproof in court. He's like the John Gotti, Teflon
okay,
Don of
okay. I wasn't sure.
murderers.
So your thing about murder is not, because I thought you had a moral dilemma about
Mhm.
murdering, but for you, it's just that it's the charges. You don't want to face the charges.
Yeah, no, I can't do time.
You're right about Freddy. Like, he's
Yeah.
not going to be charged in a court of law.
No, it's like killing someone with an icicle. You'll never get caught.
Exactly. Have you ever thought about doing that?
So many times.
Smart.
That's the perfect weapon.
It really is. I mean, you'd have to get it really sharp, and you'd have to make sure, like, it would have to be so frozen that it would take a while to melt,
Uh-huh.
which means you couldn't do it in, like, public.
No.
But, you know, I mean, an hour, it's gone. Because
Yeah.
the body's very warm, and if you really did murder the person with the icicle, it would have to be inside the body.
Well, I mean, Sylvester Stallone murdered that guy with the icicle in Cliffhanger,
That's true.
you know?
Truth-
And
yeah.
I think that you could chop an icicle off if you're wearing gloves and stab it in someone, or like hold it and hit it like that, and then it melts. You get away with murder. It's the equivalent of hitting a drifter on the side of the road and getting away with it.
By the way, speaking of hitting a drifter on a side of the road, I wanted to shout out the Come On to Tories because we didn't shout him out a couple of weeks ago.
Wait. What is this tie-in?
Yeah, I know. I made it really did trigger a memory. I made a claim that Paul Dano, which is he's come up on every episode so far of this show.
Okay.
I made the claim that he was in Identity. You said he was not. I looked it up on IMDb. I quickly moved on to another conversation.
Yes.
Taking Lives was the movie I was thinking of. It's
Okay.
Taking Lives is a thriller that stars Ethan Hawke and Angelina Jolie.
Yes.
Came out around the same time as Identity, but somebody, a commendatory, left that in the comments.
Uh-huh.
Taking Lives is the movie that you're thinking of. Taking
Okay.
Lives is 100% the movie I was thinking of. So,
Sure.
gabagool to you and grazie.
And how does this tie into murdering a drifter?
Because he was killing people on the side of the road and taking
Thank
lives.
God that's where this went. Because you initially
So I
went,
found the guy.
speaking of killing a drifter, you know, a commendatory a couple weeks ago. And I was like, are you killing our fans?
So I find this guy who's leaving comments about movie trivia,
Yeah.
and he's on the side of the road, murdered him.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
But with an icicle.
Yes. The
So-
smartest way to go.
Yeah, so
And-
maybe I'm just doing a bit.
Speaking of being Tony, I driving here, I cut a guy off in traffic
Good.
and I was really pissed. And I was
Why were you pissed if you cut him off?
because he was tailing me. And then he pulled up next to me, and this was a size of a truck that dwarfs Tony's Suburban.
It was a big truck.
Oh, yeah. And he really had a look of like an off-duty officer. And he rolled down his window and pulled up next to me. He pulled in front of me, slowed down, pulled to the lane left of me, slowed down. At a red light, he pulled his windows down. I pulled mine.
No!
And I was like, hello. And he goes, I'm going to assume that that was a mistake. And I was like, you're messing with the wrong fucking one.
You didn't say that.
No, of course not. Are you kidding me? I immediately was like, you're totally right, sir. Back the blue. Sorry. He was like, good. I was like, a good day, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're thinking for a moment, you're like, this is what Tony would do. And then you
You know,
realize.
I'm just in the car listening to music. I'm a fool to do your dirty work. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're really. When push comes to shove, you own the sporting goods store.
What?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
Mm-mm.
You're really going to insult me after I give you a Whitman's?
First of all, you can't take him back because I gave you one too. So no more doing that. That's rude.
Fuck. So these Whitmans negate each other? Are they
100%.
even here?
I don't know. But you know what is here? it's time to talk about this episode because people have been waiting for us to talk about this episode from the beginning of Prima Volta.
I feel like Richie Aprile right now because I want to run you over like Beansy.
Yeah, but you won't.
Telling me that I run a sporting goods store?
Here's why I'm not worried. You won't run me over like Beansy because you're basically Beansy.
I mean,
you know, you're not going to do shit.
Are you cruising for a bruising?
Doesn't matter if I am
Are
or
you
not.
hungry? Because I'm about to serve you a knuckle sandwich, some Stracciatella.
No, you're not, because I'll pull up alongside you and you'll be like, never mind. Right or wrong?
I'm going to crack you in the fucking skull. Like I'm Patsy and we're on a construction site.
You're Patsy's twin brother. You're going to get shot in the face in a car.
No, I'm Patsy because I'm going to pee in your pool drunk and then intimidate a woman.
Okay. All right. I think we found our common ground.
Yeah.
I think we found where we can agree.
And no matter what, I got your back and I'll get you a suit.
I
Okay?
all right. Come on the door.
There we go. Come on the door.
Salud.
Salud. And before we get into it, I'm sorry. I just got to say, again, another shout out to Alyssa Salvatore.
Yeah.
For doing those Sopranos voices. I've been talking to her. I'm trying to get her to do some Soprano voice drops that we could like hit.
Yeah.
For her to say certain things as like, you know.
I got buttons to put them on.
We got buttons.
We got buttons.
We got buttons.
There's buttons right here.
Right there are buttons.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm going to keep bothering you until you block me.
Yeah, that's not really like when the fans reach out to the hosts.
Yeah. No,
Like-
she did. And
But it's not, you're not supposed to get to the point where the fan is like, okay, the host won't leave me alone. Like, I'm not doing this.
yeah, it's not going to get there. No,
Well,
but
I would love to get those drops.
I know.
They'd
Wouldn't that
a
be
lot of
fun? Yeah.
Because
It would.
some of the meadow was
They were
perfect.
incredible.
The row was
It was
perfect.
incredible.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for that. And if anyone else has little like Soprano impersonations or stuff
Oh,
they
yeah.
want to send us, that'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Season 4, episode 9. Whoever did this, one of the most memorable, one of the most important, one of the most surprising episodes of the entire series. And we talk
Makes you yell at your screen.
Yeah. And we talk about episodes that set the pace for the series. And this is one of them in the sense that, like, many things don't have this buildup that you see coming. Like, it's like when things are bubbling under the surface, episode after episode after episode, sometimes it just blows up all of a sudden. It's not like you're going to see, like, okay, oh, we're getting a little closer. We're getting a little closer. Just like, boom, here we are, and it's happening right now. So, we start out, before we get into the meat of this episode, we'll probably save that.
The gabagool.
The gabagool. You're right. I stand corrected.
Yes.
Of course, we start with Junior trying to get out of the courtroom. He's going to miss
And his
the early bird.
His first complaint, he's up for like federal racketeering charges. He's like, I'm going to miss the early bird special. And of course, Poonhound Corrado,
Yep.
no comment. And then a reporter that's a woman asks him a question. She goes, "Hi, Allison." And then boom, right in the head with a fucking boom.
Sends him right down the stairs. He goes for a tumble.
9 stairs. No, 7 stairs.
It's the news. So he's in the hospital. He's going to be okay, it looks like, and the lawyer is like, okay, I got to get out of here. My daughter is doing this. And Tony's the one that really figures out.
Yeah.
How great is that call when he goes, I think we got a mistrial here.
Yeah.
Because he realizes that, no, Junior, I mean,
he's not fit to stand trial.
If you suck up your pride a little, because Junior doesn't want to do it, right?
No,
Junior
he
doesn't
spend his whole life with dignity.
Well, he spent his whole
That's what
life
he
thinking
said.
he had dignity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't believe at any point that Junior was a cool guy.
I think younger Junior,
No.
when him and Johnny were running around.
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think that happens.
So then why does he dress the way he dresses? He dresses like a cool guy.
He's not a cool guy. I don't think you just stop.
He eats pussy.
That's not cool.
Tell me that's not cool.
In the mafia, that's not cool.
Going against the grain?
Yeah, that's not cool in the mafia. You're not supposed to go against the grain at all.
I'd do it.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
but no, I mean, of course going against the grain is not cool in the mafia.
Yeah.
You know, everybody that's gone against the grain in the mafia so far in this series, they got into a little thing we call witness protection.
Yeah. They end up laying with the grain
That's right.
that grows from the ground.
No, I don't think that
You don't think Corrado was ever cool,
No.
and now he's just kind of slipped away into this old thing. I think he was cool when he was bashing heads with Johnny.
I think Johnny was bashing heads, and he was his little like, yeah, you got. I think Corrado. Oh, I don't think that this personality type arrives with age. I think that
Interesting.
age can make it more pronounced.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you don't meet a lot of old people that are like total jerk offs that weren't at least pretty much somewhat jerk offs as younger men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't become this parody of yourself. Like, yeah, you're going to be a little less in touch. You might have that thing where you hang on to your youth a little more. You might be uncomfortable getting older,
Right.
but you're not going to become a total gavon. You're not going
Right,
to become a
right.
total joke
Yeah.
unless you were kind of a joke
Gotcha.
from the beginning. You know?
That's why he makes a line about the dignity, and then, all he got to do is just be a little umbats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah. So
And he's really good at umbats.
really
good at
really
umbats.
good. Tony figures it out. He goes, and I love when they're practicing because he's like, no, you got to know your name. Like they're
Yeah.
figuring out the levels
Yeah.
of how much dementia
Oh, dude.
Junior needs to have.
When they ask, we pledge allegiance to, and he goes, the United States of America. And they go, who's the president? He goes, George Bush. They go, who's the president before that? And he goes, John Kennedy.
And he's looking off into the distance.
looking off into
It's-
the distance.
It's so great. So I mean, it's a pretty good strategy, I think. We also see Carmela getting to meet Pai Mai. A lot of the it's interesting that Tony brings Carmela to meet Pai Mai because Tony doesn't really bring Carmela in to that side of the world as much. Like Pai Mai feels more like the work side of Tony, which Carmela is not involved with.
Yeah, and in a weird way, Pai Mai seems like the girl Tony's been dating for a while, and he finally introduces Pai Mai to his mother.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think that I have always thought that was done to just illustrate how deeply Tony felt for the horse. And there's that scene, too, when Carmela is like first marveling at what a amazing creature the horse is, and then points out, oh my God, she comes right over when you're there, Tony.
Yeah.
Tony's like, yeah, I may be a toxic person,
But that's my girl.
but yeah, he
She ain't
loves,
no whore.
loves that. Well, I don't know if he's worried about the horse being a hooah.
No?
I don't
No.
think so.
No. Well,
Were you-
tomato.
Were you surprised that Tony introduced Carmela to the horse?
I don't know, but I thought it was interesting that the goat made another appearance.
Yes, the goat.
Yes.
And
why
not
is-
David Chase himself. Maybe the goat represents David Chase because he is the goat.
Yes,
But
true.
this is like the early 2000s. I don't know if people were saying goat in that.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, I think
A
you're right.
man before his time.
Well, what did you think about the goat?
I don't know. The goat shows up multiple times.
Yeah.
And I don't know. What does the goat represent?
Well, I don't know. Let's revisit the goat at the end of
Yes,
this episode
agreed.
discussion, I think,
Agreed.
because then we get to Ralphie, scum of the earth in the bathtub. Just
Well, no, before that, he prank calls.
oh God, of course.
He prank calls.
It's so important.
Fucking Paulie's poor mother, because he figures out that Paulie is the one that told Johnny about the joke, and then
But he doesn't
Paulie's
even like figure it out. He's just sitting there talking to his buddies.
Mhm.
And it kind of like, oh yeah, that's definitely what happened. And he
Yeah.
acts on it immediately.
And it's interesting that Ralph prank calls poor Minucci Galtieri in the middle of the night. Probably didn't even put her teeth in to accept the call.
She's got the clapper.
Yeah. I want a clapper so bad, by the way. Commendatories, if you find a clapper, send it to the seller. I'd love to install them in my apartment.
Maybe that's who you are. Maybe you're Paulie's mom. That's not a bad pick.
I do cry often.
And for a long time at the Comedy Cellar, you were excluded from the group, the way Paulie's mom was.
Untrue. Ralph, when he prank calls her, immediately he acts like a cop saying that her son did deviant behaviors, and it's coming from Ralph, who is the king of deviant behaviors.
Not only that, but it shows you how little Ralph has learned. Like, him making that joke that got back to Johnny almost started a war
You're right.
between New York and New Jersey.
Yeah.
And instead of learning from that mistake and going like, regardless of who told Johnny,
Right.
maybe I got to calm down a little bit.
Right.
He just in his head goes, oh yeah, it was definitely Paulie. And decides that
To
the best
prank
thing
call.
he can do is immediately call Paulie's mother in the nursing home, pretending to be Mike Hunt.
Mike Hunt from the Beaver Valley Police Department.
And saying that Paulie was arrested for going down on a Cub Scout.
Yeah.
And of course,
A rodent
who had a gerbil stuck
in his hiney.
rectum.
Yeah. Paragraph C, section 17.
I mean, does that go back to your thing where you're like, you know what? He's a scumbag, but that's a
God
funny.
damn it if I don't like him.
You thought it was funny?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the room, like if you're Vito in that moment.
Oh, yeah.
You're
laughing.
laughing.
You're laughing. You're loving it.
But realistically, it really does. Like he hasn't learned.
No.
He never
not
learns
at all.
anything.
But again, it's this character of like, God damn it, that's just Ralph.
Right. You got to take him. Look,
Yeah.
take me at my best, take me at my worst.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we see him at his worst. He goes, he takes a tubby. He's in the tub.
We
taking
see
a
him at his
bath.
worst, and then we see him really dig deep downer to the worst of the worst.
Although it is interesting that this is the only episode, this is the only episode where there's even a hint of redemption and soul
In Ralph.
in Ralph at all.
Yeah, and also it's the only episode where we realize he's a son.
Yeah. Well, although they did cover it up well by saying that, like, he's got an ex-wife who takes care of the son, so it's not like he has full-time custody of the son.
Right.
Right.
But he's taking a tub.
He's taking a tub, and of course, as kids do, they have real bow and arrows
Yeah.
and a car with like real arrowheads
Uh-huh.
and a cardboard box.
Yes.
And they're like
An open field and all the time in the world.
Right. So they shoot the arrows up in the air
Uh-huh.
to try to catch it on the target.
Yes.
And as will happen, Ralphie's son accidentally shoots himself in the chest with an arrow.
Well, his friend shoots him.
I thought it was the kid. They're not both his sons?
No.
They're friends?
Yeah. And we see that in the hospital.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
When the ex comes in.
Ralphie's son is the one shooting the arrow first, and it lands on the cardboard box.
Right.
They switch. The friend shoots the arrow, and Ralphie's son misses, hits him in the chest.
Not coordinated.
Not coordinated. His father isn't either, but he's just good at smacking people up, but at least he's good for something.
Yeah.
And then the maid gets Mr. Ralph. And I thought this scene was so remarkable.
Oh, yeah.
Just the camera work and the way Ralphie is running in his robe and the camera follows him in this way that we've never seen the camera work in the entire series.
Yeah, the camera stays on him. It's almost like a Spike Lee effect when the camera stays on him as he's running.
And he's running, and then he gets to the body, and the blood is soaking through. And again, the woman is like, "I called the police." He's like, "Shut up, shut up!" and then he gets up to run in the house, and the camera is now in front of him, pulling back.
Yes.
And we see him just sprinting, and it was just such a cool, the way the camera just follows and then comes with. It was just such a cool setup that was so stylistically different from anything we've seen on the show.
Yeah, and I think it really gets into the head of the chaos that's going on. Like, because I mean, just imagine that. Like, your whole world you literally went from being in the tub to having this happening.
Rub-a-dub-dub in the tub, and now you're
Blood of blood.
blood of
in
blood
your
blood.
son.
Yeah.
That's not
Damn. That was good.
good. Thank you.
Salud.
Salute.
Salud.
So they go to the hospital, obviously, and there's a couple of moments. There's obviously the confrontation with the ex that Ralphie has, and Tony choking Ralphie to get his attention, which talk about foreshadowing. But
Wait, what?
remember in the hospital where the ex comes in
Yeah.
and they get into the fight with Ralphie?
Right.
And then Tony has to like choke Ralphie to get him to
Oh,
stop?
yeah. Well, I mean, that scene is so insane in the hospital because Ralphie's so distraught, and we just see what a broken man he is because he's literally grilling and mean mugging a child
Yeah.
and just staring at the kid, flipping out, yelling at the kid. And then Tony has to be the voice of reason, be like, it was an accident. It was just kids. And then he calls his ex-wife a cunt and tries to fight her husband. And
What's interesting because...
But I just want to say,
Yeah, please do.
he acts out in this anger in this like atrocious way, but then we just see all of that shed and he just cries, which
Yep.
is what he has just needed to do. We see him as like
For
a
a long
broken
time.
man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that stuff comes out because, like, you know, mob life is so about controlling situations and being in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes life will throw you a curveball
Mm-hmm.
that no matter what you do, no matter what kind of violence you have on your side, no matter what kind of power you have, you don't have control
Yeah.
over situations.
And yeah, and when you're in the mob, you think no matter how high or where the arrow is shot from, you are in control of it landing on the bullseye on the box.
Yes.
But sometimes in life,
Your kid gets stabbed in the chest.
yeah, and that arrow misses a box and goes strike through the heart, and you're too late. You give Mafia a bad name.
That's right. That's right. And I like that you put a little rhythm
Uh-huh.
on the end of that.
Uh-huh.
JBJ would be proud.
Yeah. JVJ!
Jersey.
Woo!
Jersey. The Sopranos, and I bet all the Sopranos boys love a little Bon Jovi.
Oh, yeah.
Bon Jove.
Oh, my God. Tony bopping in the car to the Bon.
Yeah, for sure. Even the newer stuff.
Mm.
You know, like the second wave of Bon Jovi.
Mm.
It's
Bon
my
Jovi
life.
revisited.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I caught this thing when I watched it this time, which was the way Tony looks at Ralphie when he's in the hospital. I think that, and I'm picking up a lot on it, especially this time. Like I look at Tony is such a sociopathic, violent, bad human being, and it just has no humanity to him. It's like where does that humanity exist? In animals and for his own children.
Mm-hmm.
He'll destroy his wife's life, but he won't.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't fuck with his kids.
Right.
And when he first walks into the hospital, before he says, oh, it's just an accident, before he says any of this, he gives Ralph this look. Like he has this look for Ralph. And I feel like because he already doesn't like Ralph, and because he already sees what a scumbag Ralph is, and if Ralph wasn't such an earner, he'd be gone a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Started with the stripper thing, you know, several episodes ago. But I think there's a lot more to this event. What?
The stripper thing is just so funny because Tony goes to Sil, you think Ralph's weird with women? Sil goes, I mean, I don't know. He beat a stripper to death with his bare hands because I don't even know why.
Just a wonderful Sil moment. But I think because he takes being a father seriously and takes that familial relationship seriously, that he has such a level of contempt for Ralphie allowing this to happen.
Right.
That I think that this is the moment where everything shifts for Ralphie. This is the moment where Tony will never look at Ralphie the same again. I don't think he's there thinking, oh, I feel bad for Ralphie. This terrible accident happened. I think that Tony blames Ralphie for this.
I didn't see it that way.
I didn't at first either. I only kind of, that only started to dawn on me.
I didn't pick it up because this is my Prima Volta.
Prima Volta.
This is your Maltasanti,
This is my Maltasante.
Malta Volta.
Malta Volta. This is my Malta Volta.
Yeah.
You're Prima Volta.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's that. And it, because, you know, you start putting the pieces together because obviously his relationship with Ralphie becomes strained in this episode.
Yeah, I'd say so.
You start to go, okay, where did that really kick in? Did it kick in with the fire at the stable? Did it kick in with the stripper? Or now I'm starting to go like, okay, was the thing that pushed Tony over the edge. Actually, the accident with Ralphie's son. I think it could have been.
Well, I think it brings home this idea that Tony's been wasting a lot of time not being like a father. And we see that when AJ comes down to breakfast and Tony starts to give him a hard time. Like, where were you last night with the Miss Blondie? And I thought it was so ridiculous how AJ was like, since when have I wanted French toast? And Tony goes, it's not healthy, this obsession with your weight. And it's like, yeah, he got it from you. you were fucking, you reward him with pizzas and then you give him shit for being fat. You know, back when he was joining the military school and everything, you're the reason he has these issues. And then there's such a heartbreaking moment where Tony puts him in a headlock and he's trying to like pal around with his son. And AJ is just like, stop.
It really,
I got to make phone calls. And then he gets up and leaves. And Tony just has this defeated look, and Carm looks at him like, oh, God, that was sad.
Because Tony loves short term. Tony doesn't do anything long term. He doesn't even park long term. Like, Tony wants the quick fix on everything. And when he's ready to change, when he's ready to go, okay, today, starting right now, I'm going to be a good father. And the fact that his son doesn't just immediately go like, okay, cool, Dad, got it. Like, you know, if you just decide to be a good father all of a sudden, you got to put in years of work before it's like, you know what, this is a real change. And Tony doesn't, that's not the world Tony exists in. That's why he gets so frustrated, I think.
Well, it reminds me of Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems with the daughter.
Yes.
You know, in the kitchen.
Yes. Well, I mean, Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems is another one that's like short term. Like, what can I do? It's a Band-Aid philosophy.
Yeah.
What can I do to put a Band-Aid on this right now? Everything's going to be fine. Let me move on to the next thing. I'll put a Band-Aid on that too.
Yeah. Yeah. That was just such a sad, heartbreaking scene. Because I think Ralph's son puts things in perspective for Tony. And then in that moment, he's like, let me make up for years of distance in this moment. And AJ is like, what the fuck are you doing? And poor AJ is getting the short end of the stick from his mom, his dad, you know, just like this lost guy.
He's sitting there literally being used as a tool for his mom's masturbatory fantasies about Furio.
Totally.
It's really weird. It's damaging.
Yeah.
Plus, your dad's the boss of the mafia. Just, even if it's as healthy as any house has ever been, the fact that your dad's the boss of the mafia already, we're starting from behind.
Totally. I mean, you're handicapped already.
Do you think that the strained relationship with AJ added to Tony's frustration somehow with
Ralph?
Or maybe just made it so that...
I don't know. I didn't really see it that way because I think if anything, the situation with Ralph made Tony go like, oh my God, this is precious. This could happen to my son.
Yes.
I gotta, you know, let's spend time together, son. And AJ's just over it. I don't know.
So,
well, can I just say also too, we didn't say it yet, but I think one of my favorite lines of the episode is when the fat snake pig answers the door.
Of course.
And Svetlana, Janice is like, you know, I wanted to talk to you. I'm so sorry for taking your prosthesis. And Svetlana's like, ugh, you're such a boring woman. So good.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get more into Svetlana as the episodes go on, but God, what
such
a woman.
great underrated character.
Yeah, she's
amazing.
A fantastic character, and I love that she's back.
Yes,
I love that she's back to take care of Junior
because she knows someone that's an RN that'll play ball. I love that.
So, let's get into it. Pyomai's stable catches fire. This affects Tony greatly. Due to the severity of the burns, Pyomai doesn't die in the fire.
Also, I just got to say,
say
before that happens, there's a scene, that blows my fucking mind.
Pyomai sick?
No. In the office, Tony's sitting there.
Yeah.
Ralph comes in. His son's in the hospital, and he still gives Tony an envelope. Tony's like, oh, thanks. And Ralph goes, yeah, I just smacked the guy up. At least I'm good for something. And then Ralph starts to break down and has this very vulnerable moment. And he goes, my son, my boy, my baby, on his 7th birthday, you know where I was? I was in Florida, so coked out of my mind, I forgot to call him. And then I thought I did. And Tony glosses over all of that and goes, yeah, but you cut that shit out with the coke, right? Like, he just totally ignores the fact that this guy is like breaking down to him and picks the one piece that he can focus on that has nothing to do with emotion.
Tony doesn't like dealing with other people's problems. It's something that occurs over and over again on this show.
Yeah.
He won't, when somebody's got, he expects everybody to kowtow to any emotional trauma or issue that he's having.
Yeah.
But when anybody comes to him with an emotion, he's like, yeah, come on.
Yeah. And Ralph is just there crying. You see the tear fall, and he's like, my baby.
Yeah.
So fucking sad. And then Tony comes over, puts his hand on him, waits a beat, and goes, you know, now's not really the best time, but I got to tell you, I'm seeing that girl you were seeing. And it's like, are you pulling a Zellman?
That's the sociopathic nature of Tony. I think there was something about that moment that Tony was like, no, I'm doing it now on purpose.
What the fuck was that, dude? Why do you tell this man in his most vulnerable moment that you're fucking the chick that he just, I don't even know if they broke up or if she stopped talking to him or what happened, but why the fuck would you A, tell him in that moment, and B, tell him at all?
Because Tony is a monster. Tony, I believe that inherently, Tony sees that moment as, oh, now is the time to do it. Like, now is the time that I can really, he's at his most vulnerable.
Why?
It's like when a lion sees a gazelle, right? And the gazelle is running, the lion goes, oh, I'm going to chase that gazelle. But when the gazelle is limping, the lion goes, oh, I'm going to go for the limping one. Even better. That one's vulnerable. I'm going to attack that.
But that's to feed and bring food back to your family. And the gazelle's got a limp. The gazelle doesn't have a kid on life support because he's got an arrow in his chest.
It's almost like...
And the gazelle's not bringing him a fat envelope of cash, still doing his job.
It's almost like a frog who's sinking to the bottom of the ocean looked at the scorpion and said, why would you do that? Now we're both going to drown. And the scorpion said, because you idiot. I'm a scorpion. It's in my nature.
Can I tell you what pisses me off?
Yeah.
This is your fucking Multa Volta.
Yeah.
This is my Prima Volta.
Right.
I don't know what Tony turns into. I don't know that Tony's a fucking scorpion, snake, fucking Hulk vulture for the first couple seasons. Sorry. Tony's a cool guy. He's hanging out.
Apparently you're a Doberman.
I'm a Saint Bernard because I just want to rescue. He's a guy that's bouncing it all, and I'm rooting for him. And then eventually, are you crying now? You've got tears in your eyes.
No, I'm not crying.
You know everything.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong in your assessment.
So initially, I truly thought that this guy was just what'd I say he was?
To be fair, you got I mean, you could go back to the first episode of Prima Volta. You got the whole Scorpion and the Frog story wrong.
In regards to Tony.
No. You didn't just get the who's the frog and who's the scorpion. You said that the sting happens on the other side of the river. Like, you said some crazy shit.
I still believe it.
That
because
doesn't
the
make
frog can't talk underwater.
Frogs can't talk. They're frogs.
So then how does the scorpion and the frog have the conversation where the frog goes, why'd you sting me? And the scorpion goes, because it's in my nature.
It's a fable.
Can they talk or not talk?
They could talk.
I mean, what are we talking about here?
They could talk as much on land as they can underwater.
No! Scorpion can't talk underwater. They get to the other side, and that's when the scorpion stings them, because the frog... Tony lets people get to the point where they think they're all right, like Bellavacqua in the warehouse giving them a sip of soda and then killing them. But he let Bellavacqua get to the other side of the river, and then he fucking stung him.
The point of the story...
Pop off in the comments. Who's right?
The point of the story...
The real fucking commendatory or this fucking Ungats? This fucking Boombats? This fucking Metagon over here, huh?
The point of the story...
You Irish fuck. Go ahead. Explain, Mr. Know-It-All, Mr. I've seen it a million fucking times.
It isn't even about the Sopranos
I'm figuring
anymore.
out as we go along.
This is about the scorpion and the frog still. The point of the story is that it's in the scorpion's instinct
To sting.
to sting.
Yes.
And it's so evident that it is in his instinct that
Yes.
even if it hurts him,
Yes.
he will do it to the frog. If he does it on the other side of the river, it doesn't hurt him at all. It just hurts the frog.
So you're saying they
If
have
he
this
does
whole
it-
conversation underwater.
As they're sinking. If he does it in the water, it hurts both of them. And the frog goes, this hurts both of us. Why would you do that? And he said, because it's in my nature. If he did it on the other side of the river, the frog say, this hurts me. Why would you do that? And the scorpion would say, because I wanted to get to the other side of the river. It would have nothing to do with his nature.
Oh, so the frog.
They both.
Oh, so the frog says, why would you do that? It hurts both of us.
Yeah.
And he goes, because it's in my nature. I thought the conversation was, why did you do that? I trusted you.
Right.
And the scorpion goes, it's in my nature. And then the scorpion goes along and keeps stinging.
Well, no,
The
he's
scorpion takes himself down with the frog.
right.
Well, that makes more sense in the context of Tony, but I thought the fucking fable was all about trust.
Well, I've been trying to tell you that you've been yelling at me for episodes. Episode after episode, you're yelling at me about this. And if you had just listened, I would have told you that you don't understand the story.
Well, you know, I need to find a Melfi.
I'll be your movie.
All right, well, I do kind of want to fuck you. So you think that Tony tells Ralph in this moment as some calculated thing? I'm just like,
I don't know if
dude,
no,
you're
no.
doing a Zellman, dude.
I don't
You're
think it's-
fucking.
I don't think it's calculated. I think it's his nature. I think it's his instinct.
But how does he not know that psychopath Ralph is not gonna fucking get him back for it?
Because he's the boss. Tony's the boss.
Tony's an idiot. Tony is a
You have
fucking
really turned
fool,
around.
dude. He truly is a fool to do the dirty work.
Oh, yeah. So the stable burns.
Jesus Christ.
Pyomai doesn't even die in the fire.
Pyomai dies a worse death
Yeah, Pyomai has to survive the fire, severe
and then
burns.
be destroyed.
Well, euthanized, yeah. I mean,
And they say the word destroyed, which is so sad.
yeah, I mean, they don't just by an injection. It's still, it's not like they beat Pyomai to death slowly.
Oh,
You know.
like we are with this Whitman's gag. The Whitmans is now our Pyomai.
yeah, basically. And they say that the arson investigator was there and they've determined it was accidental. I mean, it's a little coincidental that the insurance payout covers Ralphie's son's medical bills. Tony goes over to the house.
Well, because Tony asked, he goes, Ralph again is like sobbing about his son that's dying. And Tony's like, you got Sheetrock and Plasters Union insurance, right? Okay, good timing, Tony. Fucking get your watch fixed.
Well,
Pal.
Tony's over there. He realizes what's happened, or he thinks he realizes what's happened. He kills Ralph.
Well,
Chokes-
he goes to Ralph's.
Right.
And again, like this is also, I love how you just go, oh, he goes over and kills Ralph. Like it's, oh yeah, he just kills Ralph. Okay, moving on to the next thing. No, there's a lot in that fucking scene that happens in that house.
I wasn't gonna move on.
All right. Just don't want to get stung.
My whole world's been rocked.
Dude, and again, like, okay, so I brought up the thing about like the goat and they zoom in on the goat,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
While they're talking in the kitchen, I don't know, does it mean something that they zoom in on Ralph cooking the eggs? Because they go from Tony to Ralph and then they go into just this shot of him cooking closely with just his hands over the stove. And I'm like, well, okay, eventually in that fight, Ralph uses that pan and whatever. Is that like foreshadowing or is it some stylistic thing?
I think it's. I took it as to build tension.
It struck me as odd.
Yeah, I feel like it's to build tension. Like something's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
Like this isn't just a typical conversation,
Mm-hmm.
but there's typical things happening. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how I took it.
Okay.
I don't know. But so, yeah, Tony, they get into a real fight. They're hitting each other with the frying pan. Tony ends up killing. I mean, this is not a gunshot wound. This is not even a stabbing. This is not Bevilacqua.
This is a very intimate way of killing someone.
Yeah.
And
do you think Tony went over there intending to kill Ralph?
No. I think Tony went over there to confront Ralph, and it just bubbled and bubbled and bubbled. And Ralph, I mean, when he goes, what kind of a sicko would do this? And that dings off in Tony's head, Ralph, you're a sicko.
You're a sicko. You're the
And then-
most sick person I know.
When he goes, yeah, I think I will stay for some eggs. And he gives that smile, and Ralph goes, toast? Like, Ralph knows what's happening, but he's going along with the motions.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and just Ralph lays into Tony with some hard fucking truths.
What's he say?
Jesus Christ. He goes, so what? It was a fucking horse. That was a blessing from the sky.
Yeah.
What's he say?
Now, when he says,
Oh, and that's funny because the arrow fell from the sky.
and, yeah, but I mean, it wasn't a blessing. It's a terrible thing.
I concede.
I'm not saying this similar. I see where you're going. but
Ralph.
But tell me this though: similarity between it was a fucking horse and she was a fucking hua.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah.
The last time Tony and Ralph got into a big fight over something,
Yeah.
the girl.
Yeah. But what? Okay, so the girl represented Meadow
I
to
think
Tony.
So. I think so.
What does a horse represent?
Well,
And what does the goat represent? Because the goat survives the fire.
Yeah.
Everything dies. Why does the goat survive?
maybe the goat is the all-seeing, all-knowing.
Huh. Maybe the goat is the viewer.
Okay, I don't want to do this here. So you don't think that Tony... Now, do you think... This is a debate that has raged on amongst Sopranos
Really?
viewers for a long time, and I'm glad that we can finally have this conversation. Do you think Ralphie set that fire? There are a lot of people who think that Ralphie didn't even set the fire.
I don't think Ralphie set the fire.
You don't.
No.
You think it was an accidental fire.
No.
You think somebody else set the fire.
I think Ralphie got someone to set the fire.
I mean, come on. I don't mean did he literally go and light the matches. I mean, is he responsible for the fire? Don't hit me with some semantics. I didn't set it. It wasn't my fire.
There it is.
You think Ralphie is responsible for the fire?
I mean, the reason I would think he's responsible for the fire is because the way he just shows his cards of like, that was a blessing, $100,000 a piece.
But do you think, and again, I'm playing
It
devil's
was a
advocate.
fucking horse.
Do you think that,
Or is Ralphie just saying that because of what it is? But how coincidental is that?
but is,
That
Yeah,
fucking Tony
yes.
tells him he's now sleeping with his ex, and the look Ralphie gives is this like sinister look for a second where he just stops crying and he looks at Tony and he just goes, I gotta go. And then, I mean, Ralphie...
like, that's the moment that Ralphie decides, like,
oh, yeah.
this is how I'm going to get the money. And he knows, he knows that it's going to affect Tony. And also,
Ralphie's
Ralphie
a
is
scorpion, too.
Oh, I mean, Ralphie's probably even, whatever's worse than a scorpion is
Sam.
Ralphie.
What?
What did you just say?
Nothing.
I said worse than a scorpion.
And I said a Sam.
I don't know if you're invited back into Sam Trialis. And you know what? If my reach was a little better, I'd reach over there and I'd take that Whitman's right back right now.
Maybe you could zoom in on the food. Like the kitchen scene.
Where's my cast iron skillet?
And who did you say I was earlier?
The guy from the sporting goods store.
Yeah, got you back. Now we're even.
Well, who am I then?
Worse than a scorpion.
Artie Bucco?
Yeah. If in the next time I come here you have a little earring, I will be so happy.
Shave off my beard. Just
Yeah. Oh my god, amazing.
Okay, so you're
see.
Hey, Jean-Philippe.
And he goes,
What a garbage person.
I think
Ralphie did it?
Ralphie, without a doubt, and it stems from Tony having the balls to tell Ralph in that moment when he's sobbing about his son,
Mm-hmm.
I am now dating your ex, and he fucking and Tony goes, you should go over and take care of the horse, and he goes, nah, you take care of it. And Ralph just fucking gets the fire set, and when they're in the kitchen, they have this blow up, and he calls him a fat fuck. And
Well, that's what I mean. That's when he's like talking about it was a horse, and he's letting his card show.
and he goes, it was a horse. When I give you a fat envelope, you don't care where the money comes from.
Yeah, but though that also could just be Ralphie's frustrations with Tony that date back to the girl that Ralphie killed, that he had always felt like Tony overreacted to, right? That like Ralphie has had frustrations with Tony at least since then, if not before, over the way he overreacts to certain things.
Yeah, but I thought that they like squashed it.
So Christopher comes over, and this is where we're not getting back into.
Well, he's nodding out.
Well, he's on heroin.
He's on heroin.
Unfortunately.
And dude, I gotta say, man, Michael Imperioli plays that so good.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, dude, it is just like when Tony's like, you said you weren't gonna get high again. And he goes, I didn't.
But it's almost like that conversation that they were having with Junior, where it's like you can't act too much like you have dementia because they'll know. If you're playing high on TV, you can't act like, whoa, man.
Yeah,
you know, it's cheesy.
He just plays it so fucking good.
Yeah.
And the makeup, he's just disheveled. And even like in his state of being fucked up, he can recognize that this is no good.
Yes. You know, my favorite moment of the whole thing is, though, and I love that they add in little stuff like this when they're chopping up the body and stuff, and the wig comes off.
Yeah.
Did you know it was a wig?
Yeah. He was so high on skag. Yeah. And I also love how they're sitting on the couch for like a little break from chopping up a dead body. Tony's knifing peanut butter into his mouth. Christopher's smoking. They're chopping up a body of the biggest earner in their fucking mafia gang.
Yeah.
And they're having a mundane conversation about having kids. And Christopher's like, I just don't know if I'm ready. You think?
Yeah, no, especially because not only is he the biggest earner, but it's like, how are we going to explain this to the rest of the crew?
Dude, he fucked himself so hard.
Tony.
Like, again, with Zellman, with this. It's like, what the fuck are you thinking, Tony? You gotta, I mean, is Melfi doing nothing for you with your anger and all these fucking issues? It's actually fucking insane.
It feels like it's gotten worse too, doesn't it?
Dude, it is fucking backslid. And it's a thing too of like, maybe it's backslid because he can't say to Melfi like, I did this. I fucking beat this guy over a thing, and, you know, I'm making money here, and this person died, and I killed this guy, and, you know, like, maybe he's just holding too much in. Like
he can't actually address the problem.
Yeah, and he has backslid so hard with his anger and his acting out. And I mean, especially with the Gumar situation where it's like you're not learning your fucking lesson. And man, I mean, I don't understand how they're going to get away with this. There's so much evidence everywhere. Tony's just bleaching the floor, and then Christopher's high, scrubbing. There's blood everywhere. There's glass. Tony goes, I found them like this. And it's like, what?
Even in his state, though, Christopher knows. No, you didn't.
Oh, yeah. Christopher knows.
But I think Tony also knows that Christopher knows. But it goes back to that, like, thing between Tony and Carmela an episode or two ago where it's like, they both know.
Is there something you want to talk about?
Neither one of them, yeah.
No.
Exactly.
Like what?
That's Tony's life, dude. That's every relationship he's got. That's his life. You know, interesting note about this episode. There's a couple of moments throughout the episode. One where, like in the hospital, Ralphie says, please allow me to introduce myself. There's another moment with Father Tintola, or whatever his name is.
In Tintola,
when Christopher's talking to him, that's another lyric.
Ralphie's talking to him.
It's another lyric from the Rolling Stones song, Sympathy for the Devil.
What's he say?
I don't remember what the In Tintola lyric was. I remember the Please allow me to introduce myself.
My name is Hova. H to the O-V.
Do you think it was? Oh, you think it was from the Black Album? It wasn't even Rolling
What?
Stones at all. I thought it was the song "Sympathy for the Devil."
Oh, please allow me to introduce myself.
I'm a man.
Now,
No, yeah, and
my
you know,
wife is a cunt.
right? No, because the Jay-Z lyric is
Oh.
"Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Hove."
Oh, you're right. H to the O-V.
Plus, it would H to the. My name is Hove. H
H
to the
to the
O-V.
OV.
I used to move Snowflake by the.
O-G. O-Z.
Nailed it. So, I think that's done on
What
purpose.
is the lyric to in Tintola?
I think that the reason the lyric isn't as important as the content is. It's from the song "Sympathy for the Devil." This
Ralph
is the
is the
first
devil.
episode.
That we see.
Sympathy for Ralph.
Wow.
Nuts, right?
Are you kidding me?
Is that not crazy? Goddamn, David Chase.
You get a Whitman.
Whitman's for David Chase.
Whitman's for Chase.
Whitman's for DC. Huh?
Come and get it. Whitman's for the goat that survives, which is David Chase.
David Chase
Boom.
is the GOAT. Sympathy for the Devil, Ralphie.
That's incredible.
Unbelievable, right?
I wish I was a cartoon right now and that my hat could go whoop, 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 whoop.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Boing, yoing, 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 yoing.
Well, look, Ralphie's dead.
Holy shit.
But this show.
That's incredible.
I know. Ralphie's dead, but this show is not.
Well, can I just say this real quick before we wrap up?
Let's do it.
There's a moment when, I mean, they're chopping this body up and then they got to throw it away and then they go to Palmisi's farm.
And interesting, by the way, it's the second time Mikey Palmisi has come up this season. Mikey Palmisi's widow was there trying to
help out
score
Bobby.
with Bobby before Janice came in, and now they're going to Mikey Palmisi's dad's
Yeah.
farm.
Does that mean anything?
I don't know. It's just odd that, like, after...
Or do you know?
I don't know. Am I a scorpion or am I worse than a scorpion?
Oh.
Just odd that after, like...
Sound off in the comments.
Worse.
Yeah.
After it's just
Yeah, that
after
is
two
weird.
because really season 2 and season
After
3
nothing to pop up twice.
Yeah, to pop up twice in season 4 is interesting to me and always has been.
I love them when they go to that farm because you can see this like childlikeness of Christopher
Yes.
following Tony around.
Yep.
It's this like father and son thing. They're like Tony's giggling when Christopher can't, hotwire the crane. And then Tony gets this like childlike wonderment of using the crane. He goes, "It was my grandfather. He let me fuck around when I was 13. When Christopher picks up the head in a bag and a shovel, he skips and runs. They have this like moment where again, like they just bond.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go to the Bing to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher calls Tony on his shit. Tony will not admit anything. And he goes, You're right. You were right to disappear the body. Because Christopher has this kind of like, it's almost like Christopher steps up
Mm-hmm.
to be like a leader
Mm-hmm.
to Tony because he's like, guys in the crew are going to like wonder, like, let's have this conversation. Tony won't allow it. And then Christopher concedes and goes, You're right. And then Tony falls asleep and he needs Christopher. Christopher's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in the darkness. And then he walks out in the sunlight and life has been going on without Tony.
Yeah. Yeah. And doesn't he look at the picture of Tracy when they get to the Bing?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does. Yep.
It's all related.
So poetic.
All related.
Such a beautiful way to end the episode.
Well, I can't wait to see what you think of a post Ralphie. Now, this is what we have to think about here.
Oh, yeah. What are they going to replace Ralphie with?
You're about to embark on the whole. I mean, this thing where we got so much more Sopranos left. Seasons.
That's what is insane to me. People are like, wait till the show gets good. I'm like, what show have you been watching, dickhead? Are you kidding me?
You're right to say that. But how wild is that to you? That we've now got multiple seasons left of this show. Ralphie's not in any of them.
I love Ralphie.
Right.
For some reason, I just love Ralph, and seeing him cry made me love him even more.
I think that was the point. I think they got you. I think they got you. I know they got me.
I got.
Well, you got, but you only got for the first time because this is your Prima Volta. I appreciate, by the way, since it is your Prima Volta, that people have been keeping the comments spoiler-free.
Really appreciate that.
That's awesome.
And thank you for digging the show, commenting, sharing, liking it, coming out to shows. It means a lot. Speaking of which, oh boy, maybe we could put this at the beginning of the episode. April 1st and 2nd.
Hit me with one of those wild-ass Ian Fight Dance on the Street videos. We'll throw it right in the beginning.
April 1st and 2nd, Vermont Comedy Club. Going to be an awesome time. March 29th, at Philly Helium. And April 7th through the 9th, in Minneapolis, Minnesota with the great David Tell at Acme Comedy Company.
And next week, we venture on this journey of The Sopranos without Ralphie. For me, I've been on this journey many times
Where
before.
is it going to go without Ralph?
For Ian, it'll be his.
Whitman's
Prima Volta.
Italian.